Self-criticism has a great PR team. It convinces you that being hard on yourself is the same as growing. And guess what? It isn't. Let me start with something no one says out loud. Most of the women I work with are not under trying. They're not lazy. They're not undisciplined. They're not lacking willpower. If anything, we're doing just way too much. Monitoring, managing, correcting, improving. And, we've read all the books. We've done all the journaling. We have a folder. I know I have a folder of saved posts about boundaries. And I'm still tired, still foggy. And at the end of the day, with that quiet, familiar thought, why do I keep doing this to myself? Okay, here's what I want to offer you today. And I want to be direct about it because I think you've been sold something softer and less useful for a long time. The thing standing between you and a different life is not more effort, it's not more discipline, and it's definitely not more criticism. It's awareness. The plain, unglamorous skill of being able to see your own patterns while they're happening instead of only recognizing them in the damage and the wreckage that they cause afterwards. So, self criticism is self awareness. They feel like cousins, but they're not. One keeps you stuck and calls it accountability. The other actually sets you free. And today I'm going to show you the difference and why, especially in midlife, it matters more than anything else you could possibly work on. So let's define our terms because this is where most people get it quietly tangled. So self criticism is the voice that says, you should have known better. Okay. You always do this. What is wrong with you? It's loud, it's fluent, and it's the part that basically fools us all. And it feels responsible. It feels like you're taking the situation very seriously, but criticism wears the costume of growth. But notice what criticism actually produces. It produces shame. And shame does not generate change. Shame generates hiding. It makes you want to look away from the very thing that you need to look really clearly at in order to do anything different. So self-awareness is something else entirely. Self-awareness says, there it is again. You're over-explaining. The yeses that should have been basically no. The third hour of doing for everyone else before you've done anything for yourself. Awareness names the pattern without putting you on trial for it. Here is the distinction I want you to keep. Criticism asks, what is wrong with me? Awareness asks, what is the pattern? What is it costing me? One is a verdict, and the other one is information. And only one of those is something you can actually work with. So, why do we keep getting into these loops? Because the harder question is, if these patterns cost us so much, why do we keep repeating them? Why do intelligent, capable, self aware ish women keep landing in the same depleted place? Because the pattern is not a flaw, the pattern is a solution, a very old one. Okay. So at some point, basically decades ago, overgiving kept you safe. Being the easy one, the capable one, the one who never needed a lot, that earned you love or peace or basically belonging. And conflict avoidance protected you. Overfunctioning made you valuable. These were not weaknesses, they were intelligent adaptations to a room that you were standing in at the time. But the problem is that room changed and the adaptation didn't. You are running on a strategy designed for a life you no longer live. And because it once worked, it runs automatically. underneath your awareness without asking permission. That is why criticism is so useless here. You cannot shame your way out of like a survival pattern and telling yourself, you know what, you're bad over giving life is like scolding a smoke alarm for going off. The alarm isn't the problem. The wiring is. And the wiring doesn't respond to insults. It responds to being seen, understood, and slowly, deliberately rewired. So this is what makes midlife such a specific and honestly such a hopeful moment. This disruption may have you feeling the restlessness, the not quite righteousness, the sense that the old script has stopped playing out. And that's not a decline. That's the wiring becoming visible. You are finally close enough to the pattern to see it. And that's not a breakdown. That is the precondition for change. Okay, so I want you to pause here because I don't want to say this theoretically. I want you to actually catch one of your loops in motion. Okay, so here's the question, and don't answer it fast. Let it find you. Think about the last time you added a day feeling depleted or foggy or strangely out of your body, like far away from yourself. Not a catastrophe, just an ordinary, hollowed out day. Now rewind it. Where did the day actually turn? Not where you noticed it, but where it turned. Where's there a moment when you said yes while everything in your body said no? A moment smooth something over instead of saying the true thing that you really needed and wanted to say. A moment you picked up a job that was never yours to carry. That moment is not evidence of your failure. That moment is your pattern introducing itself. And notice right now, as you locate it, notice whether the critic shows up, whether some voice wants to add, see, this is what I mean. You always do this. If it does, that's fine. Just don't hand it a microphone. You're not here to prosecute the day. You are here to read it. So now let's take the pressure off of it because I can feel the next worry forming. If awareness is the answer and I'm supposed to be endlessly, perfectly self observant now, add that to the list. Okay, yeah, no. Awareness is not a personality you have to become. It's more of a practice. It's a skill. And like any practice, any skill, it builds in small, repeatable reps, not one heroic transformation. The rep is simple. It has three parts. One, let's just name it. When you feel depletion starting, give the pattern a plain label. That's the overgiving. Oh, that's avoidance. Naming creates a sliver of distance between you and the pattern, and that sliver is where all of your freedom lives. Two, get curious about it instead of being furious. Ask, what is the pattern trying to do for you? Is it trying to protect you, or is it trying to keep your peace, or is it trying to help you earn place? Curiosity keeps you in contact with the pattern. Criticism makes you flinch away from it. Three, choose one degree of difference, not a full reinvention, just one degree, one pause before the automatic yes, one sentence stated honestly, one task handled back, small, real, repeatable. Name it, get curious, choose one degree. That's the entire practice. That's it. That's all. And while you're doing it, notice what it is. It's not self-improvement project. It's not another way to be at war with yourself. It is a quiet, steady work of becoming someone you actually know. Because here's the truth underneath all of this. You were never going to criticize yourself into self-respect. Okay? You can only get there by paying a different kind of attention. Honest, unhurried, on your own schedule. So let me leave you with a reframe I want you to carry out here. The goal of midlife is not to finally fix the flawed woman that you think you are, that you've been auditing all of these years. She was never the problem. The goal is to see clearly enough that the old patterns stop running the show without your consent. Self-criticism will keep you busy describing the loop. Self-awareness is what lets you step out of it. One is noise, the other is a door. If something in this landed and if you recognize your own loop somewhere in here, that recognition is not a small thing. It's the beginning of the actual work. And I would love to do that work with you properly. I teach this in depth in my free masterclass, Midlife Reinvented. It walks you through the patterns that quietly run midlife and the framework for stepping out of them on purpose. It's free, it's substantial, and it's built specifically for women in this exact season. You can join at my website, www.crystalhopkins.com. I put the description down below. And until then, be less hard on yourself and far more honest with yourself. That trade, criticism for clarity, changes everything. And I'll see you in the next one.